right, so this is the recap vlog for episode 40. It's your girl, Raqfamousstar, and I am here. Oh my gosh. Okay. I honestly cannot believe what happened this episode. I thought I just thought I was in for a night. I just want to start off with I love the hashtag but first for every episode. I catch it every time. Well, not every time. I didn't start catching it probably till like episode 10 or 11. Till someone else pointed out, and then I'll be waiting. But first, when Julie does that. But yeah, so okay, so Nicole she's trying to cry about, you know, Paul, because Paul won HOH last episode. She's trying to cry about it because she knows that a lot rides on the veto. Because even though, the HOH is safe, but that's all this HOH is. Paul is just safe. He's not really making any decisions. Because no matter, if he puts up Corey and Nicole, which he did, the veto holder has the most power. Because if Nicole or Corey won veto, they take themselves off, and then James would go up, and that person would vote out James. So they could really, Nicole and Corey could escape out, or whoever wins. They have all the power. Paul and James, they were talking about working together to split up Nicole and Corey because it has to be done. At this point, it has to be done. It should have been done like weeks ago, but they were talking about it before eviction. But yeah, so I didn't really know. It's like nothing in this house. You don't really know until it happens. So noms happen, and of course, like, I would have thought something was up if it didn't happen, but Corey and Nicole go up. And they split to jury house at this point because shit went down. Okay? Like, I don't even know if shit went down is like a big enough phrase to cover what went down. So the jury house is split up. Paulie and Zakiya are on one side, which it does not surprise me that Zakiya is back with Paulie because she is weak. I'm sorry. I hope Zakiya ass see this too. And Paulie too, you weak ass bitch. Man, I'm sorry. Look, I don't like them. They are weak. I hate me looking at her. It makes me so sad for her and so sad for women that, feel like they need somebody like that, or that keep running back to guys like that, or guys, period, thinking they need them. Like, it made me so sad for her. Like, it made me want to, like, not put myself in that situation. Like, there is never a situation where you need somebody. Unless you in the hospital and you need a doctor to save your life. Or I don't know, but you never need somebody like that. Like, I just could not believe Zakiya. She was over here, you're a bitch. That same bitch won the veto, had the power to take you off, didn't, and sent your ass home. How are you still? I'm sorry, if my man would have done that to me, he would not be my man. I would never waste my breath on him again. I don't care if this is just a game or you thought you were doing something. No, fuck. I'm sorry. Look, Polly just rubs me the wrong way. So, let me jump back into it. So, Meech's in the house this time. Okay, so Natalie comes, right? And she's showing her, tape of the week. And, I don't even know how it started. I was just so like, oh my God. So basically, Paulie and Zakiya get into it because somebody made a comment like, yeah, and because Natalie was like, and believe it or not, I would have used the veto on James. And someone was like, says that says a lot for some of us. Or she said something. Someone said something. And then it just erupted from there. But basically, they were in each other's faces. Paulie was being like, I'm sorry, he should have just been he should have been the bigger person, because Davon not gonna back down, because she didn't, and I was proud of her. Maybe because that would have been me. I'm sorry, but she stood up for herself. The thing that was not right, I was with it, drama, yeah. I was with it until Polly brought up her child and did not see anything wrong with it. Do not bring this innocent baby who did nothing wrong into it like it's her fault. Like, I'm sorry. I would have hit him. I would have, I don't even have no kids. What am I saying? I got kids in my class. But I didn't even have no kids. If somebody would have brought up my baby, like they have if they had the audacity to bring up my child, like they have the right to even say your child, if he would have said her name, bitch, I would have seen red, just been swinging, security had to step in, because she stood up on him. She was not. I was mad that he let her get the best of her. And when she was talking about it a few days later, she was like, she was mad that happened too. But at the same time, I didn't like how he was like, and I just did. Like, bitch, all right, I'm going to catch you 10 years down the line when you got a kid. And I'm going to bring them up when we talking about something that has nothing to do with them. And see how you react. And then at the end of it, I'm going to say karma and walk away. Because that drove me. I'm sorry. Polly makes my blood boil. And Zakiya is weak. Zakiya is so weak. That just pissed me off. How she was sitting right there on the couch, not saying anything. And Davon said something about it. And then Zakiya tried to say, well, you didn't have my back. Girl. If you see nothing wrong with that, I can't help you. You can't help somebody. You can't help a fool that don't want to help themselves. Zakiya, I hope your bitch ass see this. Because girl, we the same age. And I was rooting for you. I really was. Until I hate seeing weak girls. Like, I hate it. You don't need his approval. Man, you know what? I'm over this, because I'm not going to give this any more time of my day for some weak ass person. Okay? She's weak. He is weak. Davon lost her character. And I'm not supporting that. I'm supporting how she stood up for herself and stood up for her child. That's all I got to say about that. I'm moving on. So, Victor comes next. They watch his film, and everyone was disappointed. Gosh, my voice is terrible. Okay, so they watch his film. Everyone's disappointed because, for the most part, it was like a 80-90% consensus that if Victor would have been in the final two, he would have won the money. It would have been like a 7-2 vote against Victor, or for Victor to win. But yeah, everyone was pretty disappointed. I was too, but Paul's my last hope to be in there. And since he's HOH is guaranteed to go into the final three, and he just gotta pull it out, him or James. Actually, James would be stupid to take him. I'm sorry, he'd be both stupid. Paul needs to win and take James. All right, so the final veto is called Cover Your Bases, and it was one of those days competition where they asked when did Tiffany get voted out the house, things like that, and they had to run around. They had to guess the number of days. Most of them knew the number of days by pressing on buttons on bases, and there was 1, 2, 3, or 4 around the bases, and if they were wrong, then the number reset back to 0. But if they were right, then their number would flash, and then if they were the last one, then they would get an out. And when they got 3 outs, then they were out of the competition. So James was out first because 1, he was like a little snail, and 2, he didn't know the date, so he got the first 3 outs, like bam, bam, bam. I was just like, dang, James, at least like get 1, you know. So Paul didn't have to do all the work. But yeah, so then Nicole was out. She just couldn't deal with the hitting of the. She just basically cracked under pressure. She couldn't deal with the hitting of the bases, and she knew her days. Like if you would have asked her like on a whiteboard, she would have known it. Knew it. I'm sorry. She would have known. But yeah. So then it was between Corey and Paul, and at this point, Corey had 2 strikes, and Paul had 1, or maybe it was 1 and 0, and then, anyways. But going into the final one, they both had 2, so it was down to the last question. And my pressure was up because, and then James was in his seat, like, just please, because James knew if Paul won, James stay. If Corey won, James go. So, and Nicole's in her seat too, same way. Just, you know, and I'm over here like, please. Like, I just could not. I couldn't. So it came down to it, and your boy won. Okay. What I was gonna say was Corey could have won because in his interview he knew the day when it's most likely after, but he knew the day, but he was too busy trying to get to it first and just pressing the things and not really worrying about the math that he passed it and just I think he passed it, and then by the time he looked up, it was past the number, and so he pressed the button and it reset, and Paul was like at 57, 59, 58, and then got it, and so Paul won, and I was screaming. Well, I can't really scream right now because my voice is not 100% back, but I was so happy. I was I was trying. So obviously the veto was not used. Woo woo! Woo woo! And I was like, okay, he about to evict Nicole. Like, that's the smartest thing to do right now because Corey's back rocks. That's just the smartest thing to do is to evict Nicole. Nicole is smart. And she could definitely win the money. I think Corey. But since James was voting, I was like, he should vote out Nicole. But is he going to? No. So that so Corey was evicted. And yeah, I don't know. So the final 3 is Nicole, James, and Paul. Paul's needs to if he wants to win the game, he needs to win the final HOH. Nicole wants to win the game. She needs to win she or James needs to win. If James wants to win, I don't know what James needs to do. I don't think James has a chance for either of them, to tell you the truth. I just don't. So I don't know. But Friday, I think we find out who the winner is of final HOH. I'm guessing. I don't think there's a Sunday episode. I haven't heard anything. There might be. I don't know. I guess we'll find out on Friday, but Friday and Wednesday for sure. Wednesday season finale. My pressure's going to be up. I have to make sure my schoolwork is done this weekend so I could just watch and have a glass of wine so I can ease my nerves. But yeah, that wraps it up for me. Sorry this video was so long. I just had to rant on Polly and Zakia weak asses. But that wraps it up for me. Thanks for watching, and you're welcome. Good night. Bye.